Hello everyone and welcome back to TNJ Adventures. Today I'm gonna show you how to service a Subaru Justy 4. It's a 2008 to 2012 model. So stay tuned, like, share, subscribe and comment. So first we need to pop the hood. The latch is right under the dash here on the driver's side. And if you go right under the Justy logo, you will find the other handle that you have to push upward to release the hood. Then of course we can use the prop. And this is the engine. It's a 1K RFE engine, so I guess it's a Toyota engine. You've got the engine fuel cap right here and the dipstick right here. I'm pretty low on oil anyway, so I need to change it. And also the air filter is right in here. So I think we're gonna start with letting the oil drain, and while the oil drains we're gonna change the air filter. There's no cabin filter on this model, so you don't have to worry about that. This is the engine that comes on a lot of cars, including Peugeot 108 I think, and Citroen C1, Toyota Aygo, Daihatsu Sirion, some Toyota Yaris's, and probably some other models too. So it's a really common engine to find in a lot of vehicles. As I told you, it's the Toyota 1K RFE engine, 998 cc, around 69 horsepower. So if you go under the car, you're gonna see that the drain plug is right here in the back, so right there, and the oil filter is right here. I'm hoping that I got the correct oil filter because the system gave me 2 oil filters and I went on what I remembered from the last time I did the service, but I'm not 100% sure. So that's why we're gonna start with the oil filter, and then if everything is okay, I'm gonna continue with the drain plug. So first, it would be a good idea to take the dipstick out. You don't need to take it out completely, but the idea is to release this seal, and also open the cap, the fill cap. Again, you don't have to take it off completely. You can leave it on, but not screwed in, because you don't want it to actually the seal stayed on the engine. The idea is that you don't want to seal the cap to the engine so that air goes into the system. So we're just gonna leave it like that, and that like that, and we're gonna take our tool to open the oil filter. So I made this tool in order to be able to get into the oil filter. You can see it's square. I'm not sure the dimension on this, maybe 3/8, but I'm not sure. So yeah, as you can see, it has to fit in there. and truthfully, I believe this part should come off first when you do it with this tool, not the whole thing, but I don't think it matters that much. So we're just gonna take it off, and in theory there shouldn't be that much oil in the filter. We should only have oil in the sump. So this is the oil filter from the car, and here we've got the new oil filter. So looking at them, they're kind of different, but hopefully they're the same. At first I ordered a filter that looked basically like this, but then I thought it wasn't the one that I needed, so I ordered this one, which has some additional stuff. It also came with this plastic bit. So this plastic bit inside. Not sure what this does, but it fits in here, so I guess it's the correct filter. And also it was ordered on the correct part number, so I'm hoping it's okay. There's probably a system, so if you look here, there's the oil relief valve in here. And there's probably another system in here inside this cap that you can service, I guess. But as you can see, I've got two gaskets here. One is the big one going around this cap, and there's another smaller one which probably goes inside there and makes the other cap not leak. So yeah, I'm just gonna replace this oil filter and that's it. So after I took the oil filter out, we need to take the drain plug out. So this is a 14mm. As you can see, it's in the back, so it's kind of not the best position to work with, but yeah, hopefully I'll be able to open it, and I'll get back to you after that. So in order to be able to fit in there, I had to turn my wheels all the way to the passenger. Of course, if you're a right-hand drive, you need to turn to your driver's side, but yeah, you get it. So you turn that way so that my big wrench fits in there. And now we're gonna take the oil plug out. So until that drains out, we're gonna do the air filter. This should be simple. So you unhook these clamps that go all around, and the whole box should come out, and the air filter is right here, so you just push downward on it, it should come out. That's how it looks like. Here's the new one. It's the same one, but I see it's got this Neo F23 and the old one is Neo H21. Not sure what that is, maybe manufacturer's code or something. So you put this back in. I think you can put it on the lower side. You don't need to put it on top like it was before. So it goes like that. Then you clamp the whole thing back together. Just make sure that nothing came loose and everything is put back together. So yeah, that's it. Once the oil has drained and you put back the fuel plug, I'm gonna pre-fill the oil filter. It's not 100% necessary, but I prefer to do it like that. And of course we need to replace this gasket or this O-ring or seal, whatever you wanna call it. It's not a gasket, yeah, it's a seal. And we're gonna lube the new seal with new oil so that it sits better. This is the old one, this is the new one. So as I told you, we're gonna pre-fill the oil filter. As you can see, we cannot feel it very much because this sits at an angle, but I just want to have some oil in it. And then we're gonna lube the new seal with some oil from there. So once we put some oil on the new seal, and of course we replace the seal and put some oil inside the filter, we're gonna clean one more time in there, and then we're gonna screw the oil filter back in. We still need to torque the fuel plug. And we need to tighten the oil filter. You will see that you cannot go past a certain tightness with this. In theory you should probably torque it, but I don't have a key that fits in here and on the torque wrench, so I'm just gonna hand tighten it. Just like that. And of course we're gonna check for leaks after we install everything and we put the oil back in, and yeah. So the specs call for 29.5 millimeters plus minus 5.9. So I set up my torque wrench at 34, which is on the higher limit of the spec. Just Just because I didn't replace the washer that usually comes with. Okay, that should be it. And now we should add 3 liters of oil and then run the engine. And after it's been ran for some time, we need to check, or better said, while it's being run, we need to check for oil leaks. And then after we made sure everything is okay, we let the car cool down again and we check for the oil level. So as I told you, 3 liters. So I'm gonna use this funnel, place it like that. And if you look, usually on all containers for oil you have some measurements. So if you put it on a straight surface, you can see you've got 1 liter here, so liters on this side and US quarts on this side. Of course it might be different for some. You gotta check what measurement you've got on the containers. We're in Europe, so we use liters, so it should have liters. So as you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 is maximum, which means we need to drain the container up to 2 liters. Because we are putting 3 liters in, this means 5 minus 3, we should have 2 liters left. So we're just gonna pour the oil into the engine. Of course you can keep checking for leaks even when you fill the oil. And when you feel like you've put enough oil, you check and see the level again. So right now I put 1 liter, we still need to go. I'm gonna leave it for a bit and I'm gonna check the underside of the engine for leaks. And that's how you do it until you've put all the 3 liters inside. So although the specs for refilling call for 3.1 liters, I usually put 3 liters in. You can see I'm a little bit under, over 3.3 liters, which means I should be enough with the 3.1, but I actually put 3 liters in, and then you put the cap back in. I lubed this seal with some fresh oil too, and you leave it for some time. You can check the oil and then you turn the engine on and run it for a bit. In theory it should show you something on the dipstick, but a lot of times the oil is so clean that you can't really see anything. If you look at it right now, you can see some oil, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to show you. You can see the film of oil right there. So it's not completely full, but we're gonna run it and then I'm gonna check again and put some more oil if we need to. Of course, dispose of your oil properly. I usually store my oil in some bottles and then I bring it to a place where they bring the oil for recycling. So you probably remember that I turned the wheels all the way to one side. see the oil light went off. It took a bit, so that means when you start the engine, it might turn for some milliseconds, I would say, with no oil pressure, but that's until the engine builds pressure. In theory, you can prime the system somehow. Maybe, I don't know, take the spark plug relay off or out, or the fuel pump relay, but of course by taking the fuel pump you might still have some fuel in the lines, so I guess, yeah, the spark plugs, but I don't usually do that. For this car it's not that picky, so we should be fine. While the engine is warming up, of course we're not gonna leave it so much on until it warms up completely, but at least until it puts some heat into the engine. And yeah, while this is going on, I'm gonna put the oil in the bottle, in the container that I'm using to store it, and then we just need to turn off the engine, wait a bit, and check the oil. So after you've run your engine up to temp and you turned it off and left it for 5 minutes or a bit more, you can check the oil again. I'm just gonna check like this, and then I'm gonna wipe it. Then you reinsert and check again. And as you can see, it's full. Of course, you cannot really see it really good because the oil is pretty new, and even though you've ran the engine and the new oil has mixed with the old oil, which of course there's gonna be some old oil which is dirty left in the engine. It's not gonna be enough to show a lot on the dipstick, but you just have to check for the oil and then make sure it's up to the high level. And yeah, that concludes the service for this Subaru Justy. So thank you everyone for watching, and see you next time.